Thanks for joining. Our second last video with regard to the recalls manager. So how do we deal with parts that have been sold? You've had them in stock. Let's look at the Takata recall, for example. Some of those vehicles go back to 1995. So you may have very well have handled that vehicle, sold the airbag well before, 10 years, 20 years before that airbag was recalled, and you didn't know about it, but now you do. So what do you do about that? Arguably, one of the most important things we need to do here is communicate with potential customers, assuming they still own the vehicle, but there's only so much we can do there, and communicate with the customer that bought that recalled part so that we can tell them that they now have or are in possession of a vehicle that has a recalled part on it. Again, the assumptions there are that they still own those vehicles, or that we can still find them at the same location, whether it was an address or an email address. And we'll show you how you can do that directly from within the All Auto Recall system. So let's run through some of this. Ultimately, it is about keeping the customer safe. We must make sure that at any point in time, if we know about a recall, we can tell our customers that. With All Auto Recalls, you'll get the auto alerts. If you've sold a part today and it's recalled in 3 years' time or in 30 years' time, you'll get an auto alert to tell you that the part you sold back then now has a recall on it, so that you can contact your customer. The other really important thing here is that you do have an obligation under legislation to actually make sure that the people that you sell your product to, even though you didn't manufacture it, you've sold it and profited from it, you need to notify them of a recall part if you're made aware of it. And again, tell them about the fact that you've got this capability to do it. It's a great marketing opportunity. From within the system, as I said before, you'll be able to upload your invoice, either print out the invoice with an accompanying letter that takes a lot of that information onto the letter, templated letter that's driven out of the system, and you can snail mail that and put a receipt number in the system and then submit for resolution. Or if you've got an email address, which is even better, from within the system, just click email and it'll email all that information through to your customer. Pretty simple, and we're really proud of that little feature that we've built there in the All Auto Recall system. I think one thing I will say at this point in time, traditionally a lot of parts you may not have customer details for, but it really is imperative moving forward that you do take customer details, whether you're a self-serve yard or a full-serve yard. Whether it's a big item or a small item, it really doesn't matter. These types of capabilities are only as good as the information we put into them. So if you've got data there about who you're selling the part to, get their email address, get their normal address, get their phone numbers. Why? So that you can communicate with them if there is ever an issue in the future. Okay, so let's have a look at what this looks like. Again, you've seen this page before, the resolution manager. We've noted there that we've only got one item left. We've moved all the other ones out through the other processes. So we've got one item left down the bottom. We've marked it as sold. There's only one unresolved part, 9 in sold. Now this is a two-step process similar to the in-stock parts. We move it from unresolved to sold. So we identify now that it has been sold at the very early stages, and then we'll take you through the second step. Put your code in there and upload that. Once you've moved it across, we've got none in unresolved now, we've moved it across from unresolved into sold. There's still a process that we need to do here to make sure we get it over to resolved. Down the bottom here, you'll see a screen. I'm going to work across this screen, but basically 10 there in sold now from 9 just a second ago, and all the sold components are listed below. The next screen is going to show you further to the right of this screen. There is a fair bit of information on this screen, but basically what it enables you to do is upload your sales invoice. Once you upload your sales invoice, again, you'll move across further, you enter some customer details. So your invoice was such on this particular date. I've just put in here sample customer, street address, etc., and you fill all that information in. Then you move further across the screen. You've got a mobile or a phone number area there, an email address. As I said before, really important. If you can get email addresses, we all know from a marketing perspective it's really important, but be careful of your privacy obligations there. But from a perspective of keeping the customer safe, get the email address and enter it in there if you can in the case that you need to notify someone of a recall. And any comments you might want to put in there, up to you. So we've got all that detail in. Then we say, okay, I know it's been recalled. I know I've sold it. I've got the customer details and we've entered all of that in there. You've got a few options here. You can send the notice by email. Got the email address, send it by email. They will get a copy of your invoice that you uploaded. They will get the templated letter saying, Mr. Douglas, you've purchased this particular part on invoice number, whatever invoice number it was. Please see attached a copy of the invoice. Your copy invoice will go to them, as well as the donor VIN number. Please take this. This is the recall. It'll outline the recall, the specifics of the recall, what the hazard is, what the remedy is, etc. And it'll tell them that they need to contact whichever manufacturer it was. Call it Subaru. They'll need to contact Subaru, their local dealer, and show them a copy of your invoice with the donor VIN, because that's the VIN that was recalled. Okay, so if you click send notice, they will get an email very, very simply. Or if you don't have an email address, you can print all that information I just spoke about and you can mail it. And what we've put in here is an opportunity for you to upload the post office receipt. You can just take a photo of it and upload it, or you can type in the receipt number there. Again, why? Because we want to make this totally traceable, so that if anyone questions you at any point in time in the future, whether it be fair trading or the ACCC about processes that you've got in your business, you can show them exactly how you trace everything. This is kept on record forever. Once you've done that, again, put your code in, and if you emailed it, you'll get a little notification at the top of your screen saying the email has been sent to, in this case, I put my email address in. Fairly detailed, but very simple, all within the system. The idea was that we built this capability in one system so that you don't have to go outside and do this there or have spreadsheets or anything else you may need. Everything's exportable. If you need to export it, not a problem, but everything is held in your resolution manager with all the details, always traceable and always available to you. Okay, so we've worked it from unresolved. We've identified that it was sold. We moved it over to sold. Now we've completed that process of notifying our customer if we've got those details, and we want to resolve it. So we know we've got 10 that are sold there now. We've got 13 resolved. What we're going to do now is on the specific part that we're going to send across, we click submit as resolved, type in our code, and we've resolved it. It's gone from sold, now there are 9 there, to resolved from 13 to 14. Really, we've gone through the full process. Now, again, you should be congratulated that you've done what you've had to do and you've resolved your parts from the unresolved right through the process. You've got none left to resolve now. This will change as new recalls come through, as new auto alerts come through, as you buy more vehicles and the parts are recalled, some parts are recalled on them, it will upload that information here. So as if you've got a recalls manager in your business, you should have a recalls manager in your business or someone responsible for recalls. This will keep on updating and increasing as time goes. We suggest you look at it on a daily or weekly basis, depending on your volumes, and process those parts through to resolved. So yeah, congratulations. I think a really important bit that we're going to talk about in our next video is you've resolved all your recalls. Now, yes, it's not an end to the whole process, because as we said, new ones will come through. But if you do this process properly and you do have a process in place to deal with recalls, then what we recommend is you tell everyone about it. You tell them about the fact that you're a recall safe company, that the part that they're buying today, as of the information you have available, is not recalled. But if it is recalled at some point in time in the future, you'll be reaching out to them through the resolution manager, emailing them or sending them a letter so that they know that that part has now been recalled. You don't know when it'll happen, it may happen. So in the next video, we'll talk a little bit about how we help you with the marketing, how we help you actually tell people that you're doing the right thing. Thanks for watching. Look out for the next marketing video.